What's that? That's okay.
I don't think they run.
Clients.
Don't know how to look them up to that number.
Send them here. Just not. Sorry.
Good morning. Steve.
Good morning. Yeah, running all over the place. Yeah.
No, because I have I have to miss that.
That was a picture.
Oh, okay.
220.
I know.
Couldn't
I'm
believe
only
your,
23.
They gave me more direct stuff. But you got, here's a text of it. It was really tough. 1 minute. That's 10 minutes. Very important. There's a few. There's a few good ones.
You gotta miss it. You have to miss it.
I mean,
No, I think I can.
That's-
Sorry.
I'm more
If it
than
was a
willing to
possibility,
believe
but
it.
we had to,
Yeah.
I might have took.
Well,
I'm gonna
here's
say my
Francis.
whole-
I mean,
It's only-
I have a chair at that.
Mark was, his was quite long.
That's pretty easy.
Good for that. Yeah. I know it's a. That was impressive. It was pretty shocking. It was. I think everyone was looking at each other being. That was it. Wow. I just didn't see your newspaper. I didn't know I was the speaker. Oh, but that's okay. I wouldn't have done this. I would have done a different thing. No. Saturday, Thursday.
Yeah, I didn't mean to lose you the other day.
Yeah,
I didn't even think when I was on the
yeah,
phone, all of a sudden I'm like,
you lost.
where'd he go? And I'm like, oh, yeah, there's no service down here. That's right at the bottom. I was picking up the vehicle too, so that's. Then my wife called me, I was trying to get out of there, and I lost her, and it was like.
Sunday.
Saturday. Sewer.
It's gas price.
Bottom on Sunday.
But that's not him. It looks like that.
I'd say 2.5 hours. Pretty quiet.
One spot on my way back yesterday is $3.87 a gallon.
Where?
Down in Missouri. Yeah, I'm looking at the sign this morning, it's 4:49.
429.
How about that?
Not noshing yet. But an April from the start.
You've got Fresco. I don't know where the top is.
Morning, Ben.
Morning, Dan. Yeah.
387.
That's from Doug.
Oh,
You know, last week's. Yeah.
all right, it's 9:30. All those that so choose, please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order with everyone present. As a reminder, the meeting is being recorded. If you choose not to be recorded, you have an option of leaving. First item on the agenda this morning is a public hearing for the budget amendment.
Open public hearing.
Second.
There's a motion and second to open the public hearing. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. It's unanimous. All right.
I reviewed the detailed specific budget amendment requests when we set the public hearing. I don't know how much you want to go through this, but fairly modest budget amendment. Michael has a few things in case there's some sort of emergency, but his money would carry over to next fiscal year if he doesn't spend it. The biggest amendment. Bunch of other smaller ones that already reviewed. If you have anyone has any questions or you want me to go through them all again.
Well, only if there's probably questions. And then, is there anybody in the public with any questions? Steve? No? Anyone online? None?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
There's a motion and second to close the public hearing. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. There's unanimous. The public hearing is over.
Have two actions, both are resolutions. One is to adopt the budget amendments and one is to appropriate the funds to the department.
Want that in one motion?
Doesn't matter to me.
I move to approve the budget amendments and appropriate the funds. As requested.
Second. The motion is second to approve the budget amendment and the appropriation of funds. Is there any further discussion? None? Mark?
Aye.
Shirley?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
I also passes unanimously.
Well, that's the amendment. Approval.
They're down here.
Yep. There's the appropriations.
Five minutes to kill, consignment.
Consent agenda. The minutes, the claims, and the VA.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. There's unanimous. Anybody with any committee reports?
Got to go for Explorerland this week and behavioral health was last week. Everything's going well. Got it.
Department of Corrections on Friday, probably midweek. We'll be keeping on short notice and hopefully what's left of our hawk will be picked up by another district.
The policy board this afternoon at 3:15. Thursday. Executive.
And we are looking for a new conservation director. Barb has decided to step down. So she is willing to stay on as long as it takes for the new person to get caught up to speed. So that's very good of her, but she's just got a lot of things going on, she said. So I respect that.
Ouch.
who will post that then, or what's the job?
It's already been posted.
It has been.
Conservation Board will go through the interview and application interviews, make a recommendation, they'll make an approval, it'll come to you. Yes or no.
Have they replaced the person that resigned about a month ago or so?
Yes, yes, that position has been filled.
They actually hired the person that was part-time.
Time to fill the full-time position and now,
Looking for a part-time.
well, they filled that position.
Oh, nice.
Now from Fort Atkinson area. So,
There's a NICC's Partners in Excellence Awards meeting on Thursday night at 5. And one of the awardees is JB Hollins for their participation in workforce development. So that's a real plus. Then at the Wilder Business Center at 5 p.m.
Then public health, at our last meeting, we had discussion on space up there, and Krista made a comment that Northeast Iowa, they weren't interested in cutting any rent if we eased up some space. Well, I went and talked to them. They said, yeah, they're definitely work with us on something. So she had never contacted them, is what they had said. So I don't know where they come up with that.
just kind of want to follow up. Has there been any more discussion with that board meeting with us as?
No, there hasn't.
I think that's kind of what we were all hoping for.
Before, but yeah, there's nobody.
I think communication goes a long way, and I think that every Monday when we report on this, somebody's thrown under the bus, and I think we just need to have a
Well,
conversation.
it's exactly what happened. Krista said at the last meeting that they weren't interested in giving up any space, and I went and talked to them, and they said they were. So I mean, I don't know.
That's not,
She said she had never talked to them.
I think there's public conversations and private conversations professionally.
I did. I went to Northeast Iowa and asked them, and they said, yeah, it would be. Why she said that, I have no idea. That's usually happens up there.
So.
So they're willing. Yeah, they're
Willing,
willing.
they are willing to
willing to-
reduce the space.
has there been any movement on their responding to our motion
No,
for
No.
RFPs? That's very concerning.
Just, I don't know if you're familiar with how many offices do they need? Private offices, with public health.
They got 5 employees. And most of them aren't there all the time.
yeah,
3 full-time people. And 2 part-time.
yeah.
And 2 of them are home health care and
One of the full-time is marginally
Full-time,
she's
yeah.
between 30 and 35 hours a week.
so. Yeah, no, they said they'd be willing.
Is that 3 full-time, including Krista?
Krista and the admin. First, it's 30 to 35 hours a week, and then 2
Part-time.
home health part-time people that don't spend, and most of their work is done
Done, gone,
in the
yeah.
field, so they.
And that would be one of the things that we can sit down and have a meeting with the Board of Health, what we might be able to iron out some of the space needs and kind of move forward from
Has
there.
this meeting been on the agenda at Board of Health?
I don't know, I haven't put it on.
You're on the board.
Yeah, I'm on the board.
You could put it on the agenda
I can put it
and
on.
have
the
that
agenda.
conversation in a
Yeah.
public health board meeting.
You
Okay.
can do that.
So I think that's probably the first
I
step.
haven't put it on for June.
All right, well, we don't want to cut into Mike's time. Next on the agenda, Michael Kueny, our county engineer.
So, had a lot of things happening this past week. Go through the list here. Build grant, there's nothing new this week. We're, looking to find out something next month. Subdivision, nothing new this week. Quarry Hill, and that was city and Brunings last week. Seems like, Brunings and the city both want to move forward with this. Don't know the negotiation between the city and Brunings at this point. That was a separate discussion that they had.
Mike, one quick question on the build grant. Will that give us some opportunity perhaps to do something with W14 through the build grant?
Yes, W14 South.
So have we got anything cooking that we can answer questions in the field out there with anybody about W14 north of Ridgeway?
The discussion, I think, was last week or the week before, where you make gravel, so that, you know, it is about as much thought as I put into the last week.
No,
To be honest.
it becomes out on the farms, it becomes a big thing. Mark would know, we both have a piece of W14.
Yeah, that's the big kahuna as far as I'm concerned, trying to get that one
I did
solved. 'Cause it's not a federal route, so.
No. I did talk with a couple of farmers who were involved with some of the breakdowns and so forth, and and trying to get the school bus driver and some of those farmers to send some emails in, so you have something on the safety side of it just in your file.
Yeah, I mean, if we were to do something with any information with the farmers or residents out there that would push safety, I could perhaps get some safety funds. And then mix that with FM money. I'm trying to use that FM money, trying to build a balance so that I can get Middle Calma Road is where I'm looking at. So those are the two. I have two thumbs, and those are my two sore thumbs right there. W14 North and then Middle Calma Road there.
Comment, Dan?
What's that?
Comment?
No comment.
We're getting one of your roads there coming up. Anyway, yeah.
That just gives some clarification, so.
Yeah, if they could,
So
if
these
they
are,
could put some testimonials together and send it to the engineer at email, engineer at co.winneshiek.ia.us. I can just file those as
ammunition to support.
Yeah, all the documentation you can get for safety concerns has to be a plus if you need.
if I can get some good testimonials describing that from residents, not just from that. In fact, it's not in this report, but I will be headed down to Ames this week for the safety action plan.
Yeah, I mean, the school bus driver is a pretty good safety comment when it breaks the shackles on
he
the
or
school
she
bus.
would be.
It's a he, and I talked with his son and I talked with his brother both, so I'm really trying to work on making sure you get something in the file.
A testimonial, below the testimony would be great. So. Yeah, I had down to June 28th. What's today, 26th, so yeah. I think it's 28th. It's on my calendar. So where I left off, Bridge 307, see the picture, I think it was taken on Thursday. Beams across the center span, and yeah, all the abutments poured, and once the beams are in, it's forming up the bridge deck. The east span, beam will be in this week, and then the west span next week. Good for that. Bridge crew continued work on W42 culverts last week. We have the will open, this weekend.
And I know that what you sent me, I had that forwarded to the city clerk
Okay,
for looking at it next Monday. At
okay,
our council meeting.
thank you.
That was this real small culvert just on the north side of Washington.
Yep,
84-inch, did you say?
84-inch
Is within the city limits.
within the city limits of the, so we're looking at,
Lucky you. Couple of dollars.
looking at us putting it in, but having Washington pay for the pipe.
46,000, I think. See,
Yeah.
right in that
Yeah,
range.
it's 26.8, I think.
87.
So I don't want to interrupt you. You continue. I just don't want to forget to tell you that.
Thank you.
Is that, would that be a concrete?
Yes, it
Culvert then.
would be, same design as all the other culverts. So. 350th Street concrete patching operations ongoing. Not sure if we're gonna get to patching this week. It's a short week. B16 asphalt patch was constructed on Thursday west of Spillville. I think we might be doing some work on that to smooth it out. Not sure where it stands. I heard complaint on there. Rock resurfacing operation, worked at a bridgeway at Kendallville last week. Fort Districts will finish up this week, and bridgeway later in the week. Bridge 107 superstructure was tested for lead and came back positive. The updated quote was for $31,500 to have it, have the abutments sandblasted and repainted.
How much of an increase was that? Do you remember?
It's about 6,000, five or 6,000. 26, if I remember.
Yep.
Shop discuss, or Ridgeway will operate third patcher this week. Shop had discussions with Winneshiek County. There's nothing new this week as far as the mulcher hat is concerned. We're waiting on quotes from CAT. Locust blade operator position was closed as of May 15th. 6 applications were received. We had 3 excellent applicants, and they were all interviewed on Thursday. I recommend the hire of Will Watson for equipment operator 1 for Locust Shop. With this hire, the crew will finally be fully staffed after October. Since October, it's been since we've been fully staffed. So
Does he live in the area or? Is he-
Will lives in Ridgeway. So it'll be a little bit of a drive, but just a little story. We offered it to, like I said, there's 3 good applicants, and it took me all the day to figure out who I wanted. It was Will and another individual. Offered to the other individual. We turned it down this weekend. I'm happy to bring Will on. I'm very excited about having Will. He seems to be a real go-getter. So
Does anyone want to take action on that?
Recommend the hire of Will Watson for equipment operator 1.
Second.
A motion and a second to hire Will Watson, job for equipment operator 1 out of the Locust Shop. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Passes unanimous.
Mhm. 3 of the summer mowers are to start today. We're still in the process of finding a 4th mower.
How many hours a week does that entail or days? Or-
It's been, last year we went full. So we'll see. It's looking to be drier, so I don't know if we'll max that out or not.
What area is that in or doesn't?
What's that?
What area would that be in, the mower you're looking for? or what?
I think it's the 4th shop. Yep. Yeah. Because Ridgeway's has the summer intern hybrid. So the majority of dust control first applications were applied last week. We're up to 194 total. applications.
I had a call on the west end of Clay Hill, just coming on the Locust. They put it down there by their property and they're just wondering with all the truck traffic. I mean, it's gonna eat it up or can there be something
Is it,
just on the. Be on the west end, on top of the hill, they're coming on the Locust. They applied it in front of their place and they said, I mean, she counted an hour and a half, counted like 24 trucks went by that, you know.
Mhm.
They just wondering if there would be any assistance if the traffic gets up like that all summer.
That would be, working out with Brunings on that. So, this year,
It's not one of our road projects that all the truck traffic
No,
is
that-
related to, so it isn't
so
really.
that would be a haul route and, Clay, trying to remember, I did receive an email about a haul route from the DOT.
Okay.
And Brunings is aware of it at that point, and so the DOT.
Supposed to take care of.
The DOT might, I'm not sure if it's gonna be handled through a reimbursable or if they will pay Brunings direct. I don't know who it is, so all of this is
Yeah.
a little bit of gray area here. So I do know that there's a haul route headed northern. I think it's Clay Hill, so.
They just brought it to my attention. I mean, they called on it, but they just put it down here.
Yeah, and the the dust busters, the primary dust control is putting on magnesium chloride so that rejuvenates after blading and it'll seep. So there should be some, even if it's damaged, we can blade it up, sprinkle a little bit of water on it, and it should be able to withstand a little bit more. So that's the advantage of the chloride, either calcium or magnesium chloride.
In the long run, if we were to encourage that as being the primary dust control method, would that help us in the long run for its continual application?
The research committee, the research board, has sent the truck to test out the strength of the roads that have had calcium chloride, not magnesium chloride, but calcium chloride. And the calcium chloride has come back stronger roads is, their modulus elasticity is what it's called, comes out significantly higher for regularly dust controlled sections of road with calcium chloride. And that's one of the reasons why we're looking at incorporating calcium chloride into our ice control piles and things like that when we apply those leftover piles. So
There's no research on magnesium chlorides.
not the longevity types of studies where they've gone into,
It does.
although magnesium chloride is very, very similar. So I imagine that magnesium chloride would have a very similar property.
I see it did have a carryover from last year to this year before they even applied it, significantly less dust.
Yeah, there is that residual effect of the chlorides. And in talking with Tony and Dustbusters, they don't have to apply the full amount if it's a redone road. So that's, for what it's worth, you're reducing the amount of chloride that you put on the second and third years. So, and he uses magnesium chloride. So
I know Brunings had the watering that road that we have a complaint on. Usually when I drive by, it had water put on it. There's a lot of truck traffic, so it's gonna.
Summer engineering interns will be here this week. We had one last week. Wednesday, the second one comes in. Scoop is in auction this week. As Mark mentioned, Upper Explorer Land. I will be at the tech committee meeting today. And then instead of the patching, Ridgeway separator tank is going to be installed. Hopefully we can get some patching. We have some extra crew members, but for sure we are going to get the Ridgeway separator tank. It's just where all the shop water gets piped, gets into a separator tank, and then goes out to the environment after it's been treated. So that we're getting a new one put in Ridgeway this week. That is the engineer's report. Any questions?
One quick comment is, I had a chance to talk with Isaiah this morning, the new sign man. And I asked him the question, how many signs do we have out in Winneshiek County? I think that's an interesting fact for people to learn as a whole, because it's rather daunting. How many signs do we have out there in the county? Like,
I don't even know this answer.
his response to me was 10,000 signs.
I'd be counting all the chevrons in the corners and all,
All
you know, you look at
Yeah,
all
you
those.
look at all, you got every street corner, you got 2 signs, every school bus stop,
And about $300 a sign is what we're looking at after.
so the reason that we still have some of those brown signs out there that seem to be a little weathered is because we got a lot of signs to deal with.
And yes, we sign all of our, at every intersection, we try to sign every road, so. It isn't always done everywhere, so.
Do you still have a schedule of like replacement of signs, 2 townships?
Yep.
Here,
It's because we had so much turnover at sign man, we haven't done it, but that's what we're ramping up to get.
10 years ago, the federal government passed a change in the reflectivity
Mhm.
rules. And so basically, if you didn't have them scheduled for a regular replacement schedule, you had to go out and test their reflectivity at night with a gun. And so they're like, that's gonna be way more expensive than just replacing them every 10 years.
Mhm.
And that was only that's the required signs, like the yellow and the white regulatory signs, and then stop and yield and those kinds of things. It didn't even affect the like directional or parks or,
Rotating signs.
yeah.
Yeah, so. That's it. Mark, when we're done, could you stop into my office? Got some, I'll show you.
Right. Everyone have anything else from Mike?
Thank you. The bridge looks great.
Mike,
Good.
appreciate the pictures on your,
Yeah.
We asked Tech to take a picture for me so I could keep it up.
Pictures worth 1,000 words.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, Brad, do we have to put this on the agenda then?
It's up to you. If you want to have a public hearing, then we would put it on the agenda in like 3 weeks.
Well, either which way, we still have to put it on the.
Oh, yeah, still, yeah.
We still have to approve it.
So I guess what Doug needs to,
We just.
what Doug needs to know is if you want a public hearing or not, so.
We will need to read or approve. This is a construction matrix,
Oh, okay.
not the master matrix
Matrix, okay.
program that you have to approve.
Approved through the DNR.
DNR. This is a
It
separate.
hurts to have a public hearing. More transparent we could be, the better.
Your feelings.
I think you should hold a public hearing.
Okay.
You think so?
matter. It's something that we're not gonna. I'd be amazed if we have any public response on this.
Yeah.
But
But let's
Well,
lean
sure.
into that.
Let's have a public hearing.
Yeah.
June 15th, sound okay?
Yeah.
Because I don't think we can get it in, it's gotta be in the newspaper, and with a shorter week, I think we better, then it won't get until next week's newspaper, so.
And these two reports will be in Doug Grove's office for public viewing
Mhm.
anytime on the counter,
Here's a construction.
And it,
Not a-
just for,
but they're still available to the
yeah,
public.
for public knowledge, it's for the Remark Dairy expansion. So we need a motion to set that public hearing?
I'll just let them know, because I don't know what time we can put it at.
Okay.
until I look at the agenda, but yeah, we'll plan on it being June 15th.
And
Do you guys want, he said you should read through it and then bring it back to him, do anything want to look through it more, or do you want me to just give it back to him?
I've got time right now to read through them.
If you have a minute, I will comment on the budget bill that passed. So I had like the overview presentation by ISAC. I don't know if any of you watched that last week. And so the it's a 2% growth limit for current valuations, and then plus the new construction. So that part is beneficial. I think that was a good change, because right now they don't separate new construction from the regular growth. So that will be beneficial for us. There's a lot of homestead and military things, credits that used to be reimbursed by the state that are business property tax credit and those kinds of things. It used to be reimbursed by the state. They're just not going to reimburse anymore. They're just going away. So all the taxing entities will just have to absorb that loss of value, because it'll be an exemption now rather than a credit. At the same time, they are going to change the way they do the rollbacks specifically for multi-residential properties. So people who own like apartment buildings or things that fall into the multi-residential category will see increased taxes just because of the way they're going to change the rollbacks, because those used to be grouped together with regular residences, and now they're going to increase those without affecting the regular residences. So they'll probably see some change. I think the biggest concern I have as far as for the county's budget is that they left the clause in there that for the budget year FY30, so we've got a few years before I have to worry about this, but the maximum levy for the general fund is the 2% cap or $3.50, whichever is lower. So right now we're at 420 something in the general fund. So that's going to have to, I mean, we went down several cents this year just because our values went up. And so if our values continue to grow, our levy rate because of the 2% cap will continue to go down, but it 3 years from now, we're going to have to get it down to 350. So that's one big concern. Another one is the we don't usually budget a large carryover, but the carryover maximum is going to be 35%. So in the general and the rural funds, we don't really have to worry about the rural fund one, because that our biggest expense in the rural fund is the transfer to roads. So we're always going to do that each year, so that we don't have to worry about. But in the general fund, we're going to have to look at departments that budget significantly more than they need, knowing they aren't going to need them, because we might budget that we're going to have a 25% carryover, but then they turn money back in at the end of the year, and it's going to put us over the 35% limit. And so, which is great. I mean, we don't want departments to think, oh, I have to spend this money. Yeah. At the same time, we need them to be a little
Tweak their budget
some, so that, because we won't, I mean, even this year, I mean, our budget amendment several of those things were just in case type, like for the roads and so on, which doesn't affect us, but we didn't have a lot of increased spending, actually with our decrease from public health. And then what people usually turn back in at the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised if we're at 35 or 40% carryover come July 1, unless, something major comes along.
What's their mindset on that?
I have no idea.
I mean, that now you're,
And people keep dumping them in, so here we are.
That
we're trying to
35%.
prevent people for doing a good job.
Yes.
To be conservative and stuff, and now it's like, well, now we're gonna have to.
If you turn your money back in, we're gonna get written up in our
Now we're
in
gonna.
our audit because we ended up over.
Harder. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
go through them and say, hey, we're gonna have to just take.
I mean, we may have to start budgeting more like project a 20% carryover so that when extra money,
Keep under 35.
yeah, we can keep under the 35% because we won't, it's hard to know. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't ever want to encourage people to spend money if they don't need to.
Sheriff's Department, probably the
Yes.
biggest one where he doesn't know what's gonna happen.
There's so many unpredictables.
It's there,
I
that's
mean,
probably the biggest, one. I mean, 'cause
Yeah.
he just doesn't know what's gonna happen.
it could be weather, it can
You
be
get a
Yeah.
trial.
some serious thing go on, well, then
Anything.
eats that up in a hurry.
Well, in 3 years, but in 3 years, and it dropped to 350 on the general fund is that means the state is requiring that we cut services to our taxpayers.
Yeah, unless we have a big enough growth.
Yeah.
I mean, like this year, we had like 9% value growth. So if we have 9% value growth again, I mean, we could be hopeful. But we can only do 2% budget growth, then the rest of that makes our levy rate go down, which was handy. That's what we did this year. But if we have a year of 2% or 3% growth, we aren't getting much reduction in levy out of that. So
You can't count on that growth train to keep going down the tracks forever.
It's
When they-
realistic.
when they put that in there, in the budget bill they passed 4 years ago, they left that 350 in there. A 5-year cap, so that would have been for next year. They had put it in there basically to force that they had to do something else because they knew that it wasn't going to be possible for most counties to get down to that. So that meant that they had to revisit the budget before that came up. So I was just assuming that means that they would take that out. Instead, they just extended it a couple of years. And so now we're back to, it's about a third of the counties that are over the 350 limit. So it's going to be tough for some of those counties. So we may have to do more things. They didn't do anything to supplemental fund. I mean, we may have to do more things if, like the next time we hire a custodian, maybe we start paying a portion of their salary through the clerk of court maintenance budget because they're a third of the courthouse. If we pay a third of that, then that would take it out of the general fund, or anything we can get out of the general fund. We're running out of things to take out,
Yes.
but
You have to start charging the assessor as we have previously
Yeah.
discussed.
although they now have a cap on their budget, assessor's budget
Oh,
is capped. The emergency management budget is capped, like what we did to fund the 911 towers. We won't be able to do that anymore.
Luckily, we got it done when we did.
Yeah,
So leadership at the state level matters. Who's making these decisions matters.
The original-
They need to contact their legislators.
the original Senate bill would have been a lot better for counties, but it was this hodgepodge of trying to incorporate things from the House bill and the governor's bill into the Senate bill on that last 28-hour session, that a bunch of these things got left in there. So it's gonna, oh, go ahead.
One thing we're gonna have to do is look at their health deal too,
Yeah.
because that ate away pretty hard here the last, I mean, we're putting that money in, but still.
At
we're
the
gonna have
same
to
time,
look at it
that
to the future, that's something.
that's not restricted. That's in the supplemental fund. So that's one that, yeah,
Pay attention.
that insurance and so forth is still there.
yeah, that's still there and that's not restricted. That was in one of the proposals, is to lump all of the county's funds together, and that would have been That'd have been devastating, because if you have a 5% or 8% increase in your health insurance and you can't control it, you're just that. So luckily, they left the supplemental fund alone, so that's good for now. They did lower, I think, enough counties. What many counties have been doing is not, I know Michael's probably listening, but not giving the max to roads that they can, because they lowered them. You used to be able to give 75% of the maximum to roads, otherwise you didn't qualify for DOT funding, the full DOT funding. They lowered that down to 51% now, so they'll have to give 51% of the maximum out of property tax money to still qualify for the DOT funding, because there must be quite a few counties that's where they're coming up with their budget shortfalls, is not funding roads.
Don't fund the roads.
Exactly.
Infrastructure's gone.
Yeah. So I think that it may be something when the budget gets tight in a couple of years, if we don't have value growth like we need, to at least look at the general fund portion, because you give a little over $2 million from the rural fund to roads, and you give like 300,000 from the general fund to roads. So that could go a long way to help the general fund without as big an impact for on the road.
Sure would be hard going around trying to campaign here.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You're gonna cut the road fund.
Yeah, exactly. That's the hardest thing, because that's like the one thing that everyone wants to hear is I want my roads maintained, and then that's like one of the only things you have left that you can lower without actually cutting other services. But
Because I've heard completely opposite, raise my taxes, just fix my roads. Well, it's not quite.
one good thing they did do on the carryover. So like if you were to sell some land, there's a process where you would pass a resolution where you would reserve that money,
Oh, we could keep it.
you can keep it, you have to identify what other project it's for, and then to keep it out of that 35%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so as long as you've taken the action to restrict its use and said it's for this project that we aren't gonna get done this year, then it won't count against it's called committing the funds. So if you commit to this, then it won't count against the 35% carryover. So that is one thing they did do that to keep and consider. So you can try to save up money for infrastructure across fiscal years without it negatively impacting the budget.
Like I've been saying, we're gonna have to start prioritizing what people want in the county. I mean,
That's what it's
it's gonna
coming
get down
down
to
to.
that point.
Yeah.
You're gonna start them from A to Z and start scratching them off from Z all the way up to, I mean, that's where it's going. That's what's gonna happen.
But yet the rest of the pie chart of where the money goes from property taxes is not basically limited at all. And we're the
Yes.
one that gets limited.
we're the one that gets limited, and we're about 30-some percent, maybe 30-some percent.
Right.
But the other 2/3 are not touched by the state, but they give us the unfunded mandates and reduce our funds as their method of appeasing the state voters and not pay at the expense of the county residents.
Yeah, so like all of those, the money they used to give us for business property tax credit, the money for homestead credits, the money for, there was a commercial and industrial rollback replacement credits, military credits, all those pots of money that used to be are reimbursed to the county. They took that money and used it now to buy down school property tax. So the schools are gonna be able to lower their property, schools will be able to lower their property tax and then get reimbursed from the state from this pot of money they took away from everyone else. That was where that money went. So, and the cities, I mean, I'm not disputing what you said, although the cities have almost the exact same restrictions we do. They pretty much lumped counties and cities together in the changes.
Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
And
But
they're taking
if we
from
always
us and
do
giving it
what
to
we
the
always
school
did,
district.
we're always gonna get what we always got. You need a change in decision makers. This is, who's in control right now?
Well, it's
I,
not, it's
oh,
not,
wait, no, that's-
No, wait,
it's not home rule.
No.
just point it out.
Okay, on
Here we
that,
are.
right.
So yeah, that bright note. The good news is that the drop dead date isn't for 3 years when you're doing the 2030 budget, so who knows, by then it might change again, but it's something to keep in mind for the future. And to just, get our departments more used to budgeting for not so many eventualities that they have, they're over budget, that they are turning stuff in. Let's be more realistic so that we don't hit that 35% cap and get in trouble from our audit. So,
You don't have anything else?
What is that expense, man? I didn't notice that.
no idea. It is. What that is, I don't even know which department that came from.
That's what I'm saying.
I could look through the basket.
It was a $6,000 expense for sportsmen's
Sportsman.
unlimited. That is,
That's that night scope for.
that's what?
The night scope for sheriff.
That's a nice one for the sheriff. Okay. We don't need them in. No, if that's the case.
That's it in here. Department 1,000 or something like that.
It's the fund is 1,000, which is the general fund, which could be most.
Yeah.
It said that on there,
It says.
what it's for.
Not
Is Knockpicks thermal monocular.
so nocturnal.
Where people are hiding in the woods.
Nothing big sense, but they.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Motion in 2 seconds to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye. Meeting's now adjourned. So they came in a hurry. Quite a difference from last week. Oh, my God.
I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I can.
We talked about it.
Oh,
I
the
like a little.
previous one was House File 718.
And herky jerky.
That was the one passed like 4 years ago. It first put the restrictions on county budget.
More these restrictions.
They were just passed like within a couple weeks ago. Governor signed the bill last week.
You do it. Who got a counter?
And so we have an overview from ISAC, our Association of Counties, that kind of outlined all these things, but we'll be having additional, more in detail, in-depth trainings through the summer as we get the nitty gritty of it. I was basically just hitting highlights because that's all I really know right now.
So the highlights that you shared just now, is there any way to summarize your highlights? Take them off?
Why don't I email you the summary that we've got?
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yep.
That would be awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, fantastic. That's.
Yep.
But this isn't going into effect.
Well, most of the laws go into effect starting the next budget cycle. So next fall, in November, December, when we're budgeting for FY 28, most of those things are going into effect. The hard cap of $3.50 doesn't go into effect until the fiscal year 30 budget.
Rattle his tree today to try to get something.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yep, no problem.
Countertop
If
it.
you want to email me that.
Yeah, I'll be making myself a note.
Because it should be.
Wasn't expecting that.
Ben, do you know where the countertop went in the courthouse? I didn't notice this one. We're gonna install countertop courthouse, $1,200. Where the countertop? Courthouse is put in.
I don't know either. Don't know that.
You don't know every penny we spent?
I
You're
don't.
the auditor. I thought Sam was one that didn't know where the money went. Oh, God, yeah. The commercials. is something else.
We're barely into the.
Oh, yeah.
Countertop.
Can't think of anything else except Rusty Cook and Tyler Fairchild.
Something they were doing over here, yeah, already, haven't done anything over there. Yeah, that's the only place I thought we were planning any major.
I can't think of, well, I know, unless, I can't think of the recorder, your countertop engine.
No. No.
I don't think, the treasurers or the recorder.
No, I would guess it's either a bathroom or I would have guessed it was in the jail. And could they have ordered something already
I would think maybe the jail would be more. Like,
I meant the old jail, but yeah.
no, I'm thinking it would.
Yeah, it could be
Be
something.
law enforcement down there in their
Maybe they
kitchen.
did something to remodel. Rusty, okay, what was it?
Rusty Cook and Tyler Fairchild.
Fine, Bill will know what specifically it's for, and that'll help.
Hello, how many board members are there?
Three.
Great.
I'll wait. I'm Halverson.
there's two.
Now you're good, Fatima.
Replacing.